Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha. Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakareshu Sarvada. Om Ganganapate Namaha. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Deva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sarva Mangala Mangalle Shive Sarvartha Sadhike Sharanye Trambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. Om Aim Rim Klim Chamundaye Viche. Om Namo Narayanaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Shri Hanumate Namaha. Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 15th of April 2025. I want to offer my prostrations to all the great sages and to Paramatma residing in the heart of every single being. We are continuing our exploration of verse number 77 of the Vivekchudamani. Verse number 77 of the Vivekchudamani, as a reminder, is as follows, word by word. That is, Doshena Tivraha Vishayaha Krishna Sarpa Vishada Api Visham Nihanti Bhoktaram Drushtaram Chakshusha Api Ayam. This is the verse. Now, we have been examining this for a while. The key points here, or at least one of the major points here, is that the term Vishaya, sense objects, of course refers to external phenomena. These are the objects of perception that are coming into our experience, through the five senses. That is form, sound, touch, taste, and smell. These are five. And these are experienced via the indriyas. The indriyas are the sensory faculties. I hope you can hear me. There's a hand up there. Okay, so the indriyas are the sensory faculties. Now, the vishayas, as they're just experiences. But there is latent potency to corrupt the aspirant's inner purity when it becomes an object of craving. So there's a couple of things to keep in mind. One is the internal purity that we are wanting. We want the mind to become pure, P-U-R-E, meaning Shuddha. But that Shuddhata, it goes away, or it gets contaminated, it gets diminished. Because the object is vibrating inside the mind in terms of an attachment. The object can stay within the mind. The object experience, it can stay within without it creating a vibrational, internal, entangled attachment. And that entangled attachment is what creates the vasanas. It's what creates the ichcha. So the word ichcha is craving, wanting. And the other word is mantavya. M-A-M-A-T-V-A. Mamatva. The word is mamatva. Mamatva. That is appropriation. In English, if you want to translate the word mamatva, the word is appropriation. So there's two things that happen here. There is the development of craving from inside, and there is mamatva. Ichcha and mamatva. So ichcha plus mamatva equals the solidification and creation of vasanas. That's the equation. Right? So ichcha meaning craving, wanting for the sense experience, plus the appropriation, that is mamatva, equals the creation of vasanas. And then so they are hidden within. They are stored inside. And that is how the karmic binding is generated inside our system. So the karma is generated inside our system this way. So this is a mental and emotional entanglement. I always use that word because it's easy to understand, to get entangled, to get bound inside. So the mind, meaning the emotions, and our mental faculty in general gets stuck, right? And as a result of that, that is what Shankaracharya ji is warning against, that to be stuck inside the experiences. Now, of course, in the intricate philosophical framework of Advaita Vedanta, the term Vishaya, Vishaya, denotes the manifold objects or domains that constitute the field of sensory and mental experience. Let's be clear on this point. There's a domain of experience. The manifold objects are there. Isn't it so? Look at where I'm sitting in a room right now. There's so many different objects. You go outside and you see the sky and the sun and the trees. This is all manifold set of objects. This is in the Jagrat Avastha. So we are right now awake. We are inside Jagrat Avastha. Jagrat meaning waking state. In the waking state, there are manifold objects and domains. Manifold objects or domains. Domains meaning range of experience within a certain field. That is called a domain. So we are within that domain of the Jagrat Avastha that constitute the field of sensory and mental experience. So there's a field of sensory experience. The five senses are within a field of experience. And then that experience comes inside the mind, and that is our mental experience. And that is what we are experiencing as Jagrat Avastha. So these are the objective correlates apprehended through the five cognitive sense faculties. Meaning what? The objective correlates meaning, if I'm holding a cup of tea in my hand or a cup of coffee, there is an object outside, and then it is correlating, or it is held inside the mind, and it is perceived internally. And in that internal experience and perception, there is the possibility of getting bound inside the experience of the object. So that's that's what happens. That can happen. But just the fact that the objective correlates, there's a correlation. There's a cup of coffee outside, there's a cup of coffee inside. There's my mother outside, there's my mother inside. There's a TV outside, there's a TV inside. Everything that is perceived as outside is also held inside. In Gujarati we say antakaranni andar vishayo rahela chhe. In the antakarana, the objects are there. So the Jnana Indriyas, the Shabda Sparsh Rupa Rasgan, they bring this experience inside. Jnana doesn't mean the Jnana of the Atman. It means the experience in this. When we say Jnana Indriya, it's the experience, the Jnana of the objects. So that is Rupa, Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa and Gandha. These are the five senses. Now these raw sensory inputs, which is called Indriyartha, Indriyartha. They're raw sensory inputs. These are subsequently processed, synthesized, and interpreted by the inner instrument, that is Antakarana. Let's be clear. The Antakarana is a composite of four functions. Mana, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahankar. That's the internal instrument. So the sensory input, the raw sensory input, they are processed. The input is processed. The processing happens inside. We'll talk about what that is in a moment. It is synthesized. So processing, meaning it is remembered, it is held, it goes into the memory, and then it is synthesized. The experience is synthesized. Take the example of a cup of coffee, which I have in my hand right now. I drink the cup of coffee, and let's say the temperature is too low. So my experience, no, this temperature is too low. Why is that? That is in comparison to other experiences of cups of coffee. My mind pulls it together. It synthesizes this experience with all the other experiences, and it builds a synthetical interpretive structure inside the mind. You see how amazing this is, what Shankaracharya ji, to understand even one verse of Vivekchudamani. Look at this. So subsequent processing, synthesis, and interpretation. The interpretation is, This is okay. I like it. I like it very much. The I like wanting the experience. इसको अनुभव कहते हैं, विषय का अनुभव. So there's 3 points here. Please keep these in mind. Processing is one capacity of the antakarana. Synthesis is the second capacity. Third capacity is interpretation by the inner instrument, specifically the mind and the buddhi. While these vishayas form the very fabric of our empirical existence, which is vyavharika satyam. He said the vishayas, the panch vishayas form the very fabric of the empirical existence, meaning material existence. The Jagrat Avastha is in the material world, Bhautik Jagat. That is the fabric, meaning that the experiences from the 5 senses generate the material world inside the mind. That generation of the material world, Bhautik Jagat, inside our antakarana is what is meant by the fabric of our empirical existence, empirical experience. And that fabric that is generated is called Vyavharika Satyam. Okay, I hope that's clear. Now, that fabric is generated because the Jivatma, through this body, senses, mind, is given the opportunity to experience Maya, to experience Mahamaya. It is the expression of Mahamaya through this fabric. And this is where the Jivatma is trapped inside that fabric of experience. The Jivatma is stuck inside this fabric of experience. Why? Because the Jivatma is originally stuck in unexpressed Mahamaya. That is Shushupta. It is dormantly residing in the beginningless Anadi Mahamaya. It is residing in that realm. So by the grace of Paramatma, God energizes Mahamaya. Bhagwan jo hai, jo aksharatit Paramatma hai, energizes Mahamaya through one Akshar Mukta, through one being called Mul Purush. And the Mahamaya is energized. This is described in Vachanamrut Garada Pratham 11. Mahamaya is energized this way, and the entire creative process begins. And so the fabric of material reality is through this energizing process where the Jivatma, which has been engulfed inside the Mahamaya from infinite time, is given opportunity for experience because of Shakti that is placed to that Shakti is endless and infinite, and each Jivatma is given a body. Each Jivatma is given the experience. Experience, isko anubhav kehte hai. Its experience is given. Otherwise, there's no experience inside the dormant state of Mahamaya. There's no experience at all of any kind there. So, and to take it out of that, and so that the Jivatma can realize the Brahman. That is why the creation. People say, why this creation is there? This is why. So that the Jivatma can be taken out of the dormant state of Mahashushupti Avastha, or the Mahamaya that is holding the Jivatma in the dormant state without any expression. It's just lying there as a monadical Satchidananda spark, and as a result of that, it's just there. It has to come out of that. So this type of Tattvagnan, this is Vishishta Advaita Tattvagnan, or the Panch Bheda Tattvagnan as per Vachanamrut. I know it's a bit complicated. It seems complicated, but the point is, if we want to understand why there is Vyavharika Satyam, why is there Vyavharika Satyam? This is why. Why is there not only Paramarthika Satyam? Because the Jivatma is inside Mahamaya. Okay, now let's stop here, but otherwise we will all wind up falling asleep in this conversation. It's a little bit profound. But let's stop here for now. It's worthy of contemplation and thinking over and really going into this step by step. All right, let's stop here for now. Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurame Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sadgurubhyo Namaha. Om Aim Rim Klim चामुंडाये विच्चे स्वाहा। ओम दुर्गे दुर्गे रक्षिणी ठ ठ स्वाहा। ओम श्री दुर्गार्पणमस्तु। ओम श्री राधा कृष्णार्पणमस्तु। ओम ह्रीं स्वाहा।